Yo, we back. It's your boy Tunnel Vision, coming with another one. On my way to get some food. I'm starving right now. I'm starving. But let's start this video out real quick before I do so. Now, Kenny Porter, he just did an interview at the Boxing Voice, and he was out there calling Earl Spence a weight bully. I'm talking about how Earl Spence needs to go up to 154 pounds. That's more of his natural weight, this and that. And, him making such, comments, it's interesting. It's just interesting, coming from him. I guess let's look at it. Let's honestly look at it. Is this dude a weight bully? Is he a weight bully? Let's look at it. Shout out to Kenny, man. I'm gonna say shout out to Kenny, man. Put out a little bit, put out some things out there when he was talking. Let's look at it. What if I told you there's a welterweight, right? Now, this welterweight, what if I told you the first 9 fights this welterweight had, first 9 fights that he's had in his career, he either had those fights at 168 pounds or at 160 pounds. And his first couple of fights were at 168 pounds. What if I tell you after that, the same fighter, his next 6 fights were at 154 pounds? Not only were his next 6 fights at 154 pounds, he even had a belt at that weight. One of the lower belts, not the major belts, but he actually held one of the lower belts at that weight. And now that particular fighter is fighting at 147 pounds. From 168 all the way up at 168. Now he's fighting at 147 pounds. What would you say about that? What would you say about that fighter? What would you call that fighter? What would you call that fighter? Now, the fighter I'm talking about, he's still active. He holds a belt right now at 147. He's about to do a unification bout in a couple of days. And that fighter's name is Sean Porter. Yeah, Sean Porter. The same Sean Porter who in his last fight couldn't make weight. So he had to cut his parts of his dreadlocks off in order to make weight. The same Sean Porter who has had to strip down butt naked in order to make weight for fights. That's Sean Porter. So for his father to be calling anybody a weight bully is completely idiotic and asinine. You're talking about Earl Spence, someone who's never had an issue with making weight. That's number 1. Number 2, he has an IBF title, which means on the next day in the morning weigh-in, he actually has a weight limit that he has to reach. He can't go above a certain weight every morning before a fight. That's the guy that's the weight bully. And ironically, on fight night, Ocampo was heavier than him, and no one calls Ocampo a weight bully. And Kell Brooks outweighed him on fight night, but no one calls Kell Brooks a weight bully. Kell Brooks, who was draining himself to make 147 and eventually actually moved up to 154 pounds and has been fighting at 154 pounds ever since then. But somehow nobody calls him a weight bully. But out of all people on this planet, out of all people, this dude is the last person that should be calling anybody a weight bully. This dude fought Alexander Usyk in the amateurs and won. Fought Demetrius Andrade in the amateurs. And you're calling other people weight bullies? Lord Jesus. When you're barely making weight at the skin of your teeth, fight after fight after fight, and what makes it worse, you don't even blow up in weight like that, and you stay in the gym working out and you stay in shape and yet you're still having issues making weight, you're the last person that should be calling people weight bullies. Earl Spence eats. He just eats. He puts on a whole bunch of water weight, puts on a whole bunch of fat, and he just eats. So as soon as he curbs that, starts to comes down, that stuff comes right off of him. And when he hydrates the next day, actually, he doesn't even actually hydrate like that for the next day for his fights. He doesn't even hit anything close to the 15-pound weight limit. He doesn't even come close to that most of the time. He's good. He comfortably weighs underneath it every single morning. And by fight night, he also doesn't gain that much weight. So to call him a weight bully is kind of asinine. And if you can make the weight, you can make the weight. You never see him all drawn out. Like, go look at some of Conor McGregor pictures, on fight night. On when he weighs in. Dude literally looks like Skeletor. You can see his bones. It's literally just skin and bones. He literally looks like he just came out of concentration camp. That's what he looks like. You know what I'm saying? Look at some of Chavez Jr.'s fights and how long and drawn he looks out at some of his fights. He looks crazy in some of his fights. Go look at Sean Porter miss weight in a whole bunch of his fights and have to come in butt naked or cut pieces of his hair in order to make the weight. Almost lose your belt on the scales in your last fight. Dude literally almost lost his belt on the scales in his last fight. Almost lost his belt on the scales. But you're calling people weight bullies? Nah. Wrong person to do so. Don't start with the excuses now. It's like you're basically making excuses for you taking a loss. You're basically making excuses right now. So we know what you're gonna say after the fight. We already know what you're gonna say after the fight. That we just fought a 154-pounder. He needs to move up in weight and fight guys his own size. Blah 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 blah. That's what we're gonna hear from you. That's what we're gonna hear from you. And if he's a weight bully, why the hell do you want to fight Manny Pacquiao then? Why do you want to fight Manny Pacquiao that started up all the way from 118 pounds? That doesn't even weigh in at anywhere close to 147 pounds or doing it for his fights. Why do you want to fight him then? Since you have this weight bully moniker that you're spilling out there. Train. Come fight night. Give it your all. If you get the win, you're a unified champion. Take all the glory. And if you get that tail kicked, if you lose the fight, if you get the bricks beat out of you, take it like a man. Take the loss like a man and keep it moving. I didn't hear all this weight bully talk when you were trying to get that rematch against Kell Brooks. I didn't hear all that weight bully talk when you're going to fight Kell Brooks. Even though he's a substantially bigger man than Earl Spence. So don't start all that weight bully talk now. Go train, handle your biz. Cut out with those excuses, homie. They're for the birds. It's almost fight night. All that crap you've been talking for all those months, all the last year. Hey, man. It's time to put up right now. Subscribe. Press the like button. Share. See you on the next one.